Welcome to this video, the end of Ask Harvey, brackets season 1. Basically, let's talk about this. What is this video actually about? Do's or don'ts of online dating. Basically, so if you've been following me for a while, you've had the amazing and great opportunity to be following me. But basically, I've had a variety of different sets that I've been doing the videos in. You know, ones that look like this, ones that look like this, ones that look like this, and ones that also look like this. Basically, I've been using different sets just because I really thought it was really cool. The one I liked the most was actually this one, which was at my sister's house. But what you never actually got to see was where I got to live. So my studio, and I'm about to move out. So without further ado, I want to show you basically, it's really shit right now because it's kind of like how it is. But you know, ta-da! It's like we're unpacking and stuff like that. But you can't really see it that well from this camera. But I've been moving out, and I'm going to be moving out next week. So I've decided to use this. Let's just adjust the camera a bit. I've decided to use this as an example or as a chance to call every other video that we've been doing Season 1. Basically, it's a simple idea that, you know how like TVs and show they have seasons? Well, why not have seasons with this YouTube channel? So that's all Season 1, which means Season 2, I don't know if I'll take a week off or not. I'm not quite sure. I'll figure it out when I get there. But I might do something very different, more things that also incorporate more personal aspects of my life, just because that might be good. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. But in this video, I do want to talk about a little bit about the do's and don'ts of online dating, just because there are some of you guys that do online dating, and I think it's really it's worth getting straight to the point. So without further ado, let's actually get a seat. So here's the thing, online dating is a thing people do. Whether it's Tinder, whether it's OkCupid, whether it's meeting people through Facebook, whether it is adding someone at an event after you met them, whatever it is, it's a thing. You know, if you're not someone who dates online, great, I'm one of you people. I'm doing this video for the people that do date online, but in this video I do want to talk about some do's and don'ts of online dating that are really important to recognize, because these might be some mistakes that you do, but frankly, who gives a shit? Because there is a universal rule. And the universal rule is basically, if someone likes you, they're going to make it easier for you. Which means any tips and tricks that you can try and think of, you know, like, ooh, what's the opening line? What's the best description? All that kind of stuff. It's like, you know, like in Wolf of Wall Street, they're like, fugazi. You
know what a fugazi is? Well, fugazi, it's fake.
Yeah, fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a...
Basically, it's a little bit of that. It's a bit of make-believe. It's sure, there are some things that do work, and I do want you to recognize that there are some things that do actually work, but there are also some things that are complete bullshit. Because any person who, for example, spends a lot of time doing online dating recognizes that after a while, what you say doesn't necessarily matter. You know, it might matter what you put your photos in there, but really, truly, the photos that you have are always going to be a representation of you. So do include photos that aren't safe. So when I mean photos that aren't safe, what I mean are photos of you with friends, photos of you with other people, photos of you with just doing stuff. Don't do photos that you put online that are what you think what your target market might like. Because truth be told, what people do is when it comes to dating, right? There's two real ways that people go. The first way is people try and please the other person. They try and become the ultimate partner, the ultimate being, and that shit ultimately gets you nowhere. When you start recognizing yourself and recognizing that you want a certain kind of person, and you recognize yourself, more importantly, as a certain kind of person, what happens is you start to connect people who share the same values. So the more safe you play it, that's the interesting thing, the more safe you play it, the less results you'll actually get, which means, this is the interesting thing, the more you try and please everyone, the less you'll actually please. You know? Well, for example, if you were a people pleaser, or if you met someone who was a people pleaser, would you think that person is really cool? Imagine for the start it might be nice, but after a while it might get a bit draining. That shit is unattractive. What's most attractive, like what's more attractive? Someone who's confident or someone who's not? Someone who knows who they are or someone who tries to please you? I don't know about you, but I think I know who I think is really, interesting. So don't try and please other people. Or you can to an extent, don't be an asshole to other people. But first and foremost, it should be about expressing yourself. It's just another platform for you to express yourself. Just like if you were to meet people in a bar or on somewhere, you would meet people just because that's who you are. It's not something that you do. That's always the question. It's not what should I do? It's who should I be? And the answer should always be you. So when it comes to your profile, the actual description, now I'm assuming this is Tinder, and in the past I've done videos like, I've done critiques, and in the future I might do more online critiques and all this kind of stuff. But when it comes to, for example, your profile, don't do things out of pain. Don't list things, first and foremost. Don't list things like, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Great, who cares? And also don't list pains. What's unattractive? What's more unattractive? What's really unattractive is actually saying shit that you don't want. I don't want someone who's gonna mess around. I don't want someone who is gonna just one night stand. Great. Who cares? That's assuming, right? That's assuming that you aren't good enough to capture someone's attention. That's the great assumption there, that you don't have the confidence in yourself, that you are so powerful in who you are as a being that you're gonna stop the tracks of someone who is probably gonna be a player. So when we say that, we're actually demonstrating lack. And when you demonstrate lack, what do you get? More lack. So when it comes to your writing a description, demonstrate who you are. It's another example or a platform that you can express yourself. So if you're someone who has a really sarcastic sense of humor, write something really sarcastic. In fact, one of the best descriptions I've ever seen online for an online date was not actually online. It was from a play, a musical that I saw in Melbourne. Someone invited me to go, and it was actually about Tinder. And the best description I saw was someone, and the description was like, my favorite color is the color gray, my favorite activity is sitting. That shit is gold because it's fucking funny, and you better believe that the people who wrote it were funny people. So you get to experience who they are. Not like, I'm a funny guy. Fucking great. I'm a great girl. Who gives a shit? Demonstrate it. People need to experience you. Without that experience, they're not gonna really connect. Now, here's the thing, right? If you're the kind of person when it comes to dating online that you think you need some cheesy line, or if you're a guy watching this that you're like, oh, the girls get all the things, and if you're a girl watching this, guys only want sex, don't get caught up in that bullshit. Because that's the social narrative. And my assumption with you is that maybe you're someone who's above the social narrative, that you can create your own conscious relationship, that you're someone who knows who you are, or maybe you'd like to get to know who you are, and that you're someone who's moving towards something like, for example, an actual relationship that's worth your time. So when it comes to getting stuck, what a lot of people do is they get stuck in the social narrative, So for example, in the social narrative is, what is it? Freedom-seeking guy chases security-seeking girl, and then there's the guy, he's like, I'm a player, and the girl's like, I want more, and it never works out because that's the fucking narrative, and it becomes a game that people play. Now, what I want for you is to step out of that game, to not be in it, so to step out of it, and the way you step out of it is by not giving a shit about it and giving more shits about who and what you are and what you represent. Your identity, that's the key foundation of when I work with people one-on-one. That's the shit that makes massive transformations in moments. It's absolutely ridiculous. So when it comes to online dating, when you think about the opening line, here's the thing. Don't hold back. Now you might say, but every time I hold back, and I'm saying, here's the thing, don't do something that's inauthentic. You know, don't do a cheesy line that you're like, oh, but someone told me to do this. This is the line that works every time. No woman is the same, just like no man is the same. So no man is the same, just like no woman is the same. So I want you to understand this, that when you're connecting with people online, it doesn't really matter what you say and what you start off with, because you don't know where the other person is. Like when you message them, they could be at work. When you message them, they could be, and that's what some people do. They go, when's the best time to text someone and open the opening line? Who cares? They could be at work. If they're the kind of person who's so stressed out at work that they can't reply to a message, then maybe that's not the person that you want. If they're the kind of person that is so disheartened from online dating that they just look at you like you're some other scum that's on the platform, that's not the kind of person that you want to meet. What you want to do is meet someone who's in alignment with your sense of identity. So you have a sense of who you are, you know, and if you don't, that's shit we can work on, but you have a sense of who you are, you know who you are, and what's very important is for you to find people who are in alignment with that. If you're an adventurous person, right? Most of my clients are really amazing, fucking incredible, high-powered people. They're entrepreneurs, you know, they're people who run their own businesses. They're people who, to the common people, they'd scare off men, you know, and they often, I think it's really funny because they're, to me, just like, they're like puppy cats, you know, the puppy cats, they're puppy dogs or kitty cats or whatever. But it's not really, when you're trying to connect with someone online, you also have to realize that if they don't reply, man, that shit is sometimes people, how do I say this? They're people that you're probably not going to want to connect with anyway. Now, there are going to be those people out there who like, ooh, I've got this sexy line and you should use it, it works.
Fairy dust, it doesn't exist.
100% of the time. But what's bullshit about that is that when you use these bullshit lines, you're then creating a relationship that is based on someone else's consciousness and not your own. So what's really important then is what is really powerful is once you start to create something that is from your own sense of identity, you know, like for example, you saying, hi, how are you, is a lot better if it's more authentic than using some bullshit line. Because ultimately what happens is, and this is what happens when we work together, ultimately what happens is you start to create your own unique style, your own unique flavor. I posted recently on Facebook, and some people understood this and some people didn't understand this, that if you can give someone something that no one else in the world can give, that's what makes you unique, that's what makes you attractive, that's what brings people to you. Now, you're not going to get this by following other people's advice, you know, obviously follow my advice because I'm the one who helps you there, but there are going to be people who say, do this, say this, kiss someone in a certain way. I watched a video online, it's like, kiss a man this way and activate his primal urges. Great. Go do it and then fucking forget about it, because then it's really important to create your own unique style. Because if you kiss someone in a way that's perfect for you, that's an expression of you, when they fall in love with you, it'll be you. It won't be some tactic that someone else said. So the general idea here is that we want to be expressing you. Now, what's more attractive? You know, and for the ladies watching this is whatever. And for the men watching this is also whatever. So I'm going to use the word person, human. But what's more attractive? A person who knows who they are or a person who doesn't? What's more attractive? A person who is like sure of themselves or a person who just kind of tries to please people? Look at the word erection. Erection, the thing that people love and giggle about, right? It's standing fucking strong. For the men watching this, or for the people with penises, we don't want to exclude the women with penises, but that's the key here. It's about self-assurance, self-knowing. The most attractive thing you can do is to know yourself, and the best thing you can do for yourself is to know yourself. And I've said this, like for example, it's like what if, here's the thing, right? So look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is this crazy motherfucking millionaire guy who wants to go to Mars, right? Now, there are other people also doing this, like other billionaires and stuff like that as well. But what if the whole globe worked together worked together to get there. You better believe we'll get there sooner. In fact, as a planet, we're really shit at working together. We go to wars, we blame each other, you know? We fight each other, we do all this other bullshit, but we never really truly, there's some things that we're working together now more than ever before, but what if we truly worked together? Because if we truly worked together, there'd be no need for military, and we'd provide all those resources from protection to execution. And so this is what I find a lot of people then, imagine with the planet, but you being that planet. So if all parts of you work together in one, you start executing rather than protecting yourself. And so this is why I find a lot of people go to online videos, or they go to routines, or they go to some external means. They're looking for someone else to give them permission. They're also looking for someone to give them the line that is protecting. And there's nothing wrong with protecting yourself. You know, for example, if you've broken a foot, you need to protect your foot in order to do it. But most of us are walking around with broken feet when we're really not broken. So imagine if all parts of who you are worked towards one singular goal. You better believe you'd get there sooner. You'd learn new things, you'd learn new ideas, you'd learn new strategies, you'd learn to get there. This is why predominantly as a dating coach, especially when I'm working with people, I do what I call identity work, where I help people form their identity. And honestly, 90% of the time when I do this, it's really funny. What they do is they give up on online dating. Do give up on online dating. Don't replace your social life with dating. That's a big do and don't. Some people do that where they're almost incapable. I don't know if this is you. This might not be you. This is a fucking video. But some people do this like a thing where they're afraid of online dating, or they're afraid of socializing. Or they're a bit socially anxious, so they replace their social life with online dating. Now, as a dating coach, it was really funny. There was a time where I was, where I was online before I was, say, fuck off online. And I would go on dates and people would say to me, "You're a dating coach, why are you on Tinder?" And in my head, I'm like, "You're a fucking human, why are you on Tinder?" And then they'd say, "Oh, I'm busy," and stuff like that. But are you too busy to connect with another human being? In my opinion, if you're so busy that you can't connect, busy meaning mental busyness, right? That you can't connect with someone talking behind the counter, making you the coffee. Or say, "Hey friends, we're going to dinner," and you're so thinking about what's going wrong in life that you can't connect with the people that you're with. That's something we got to sort out. And I say this because that's what a lot of people are, and they're so upset and they're so stuck in their problems that when it comes to their relationships, they use their relationship as a therapist. Now I've seen this, and then because they realize they can't use their relationship as a therapist, they end up coaching their partner. So they do this, they coach their partner with life, and then they become their partner's life coach, but not their actual fucking partner. So that's what causes a lot of problems. Don't be your partner's therapist. Don't be their life coach. And for fuck's sake, don't be their, their dating coach. I used to do that. When I switched from coaching men to coaching women, I would date someone and I would coach them with the other guys they were seeing, because I was too afraid to tell them that, "Hey, I know we're casual, I know we're seeing other people, but I don't like hearing about the other guys that you're dating." So, and that's the same thing, that's standards, right? But you don't know your standards until you know yourself. That's the big thing here. So when it comes to online dating, don't spend way too much time on it. The whole point of it is you're replacing, some people do it, some people don't do it, but some people used online dating to replace going out and meeting people, right? That's basically what it is. If you can meet someone while on the toilet, that's the point of Tinder, right? Just imagine, next time you go on a date with someone, ask them where they were when they swiped yes on you. I bet you they were taking a shit. But the real thing here is that if you're replacing online dating because you feel like you're introverted or extroverted or whatever with online thing, the key here is to not spend way too much time on it. Usually people can tell if they want to actually meet you very, very quickly. You know, if you take a week to meet someone, in my opinion, way too long. 2 or 3 days should be Honestly, it should be one conversation because there's an energetic movement to it. There's an excitement to it. So the best connections you can have are the connections that are very short. So it doesn't have to be that you have to wait months or years or whatever. It's very fucking short. Remember, it's the planet moving in alignment with itself. It's all parts of you moving in alignment with itself. When you meet someone who's in alignment with something, doesn't matter, they're going to be hell-bent on finding it. So when you're connecting with someone, it's going to be very short. When it's powerful, it's going to be very short. To me, the best connections that I want to form with people are not ones that have to take their sweet-ass time. You want to be able to connect very quickly, very instantly, and very powerfully. So when it comes to online dating, if you're taking, sure, they can take several days, and that's not bad, but usually what will happen is that when you actually connect with someone, it will be, the powerful connection will be very almost instantaneous, very in a few conversations back and forth. Why? Because it's a dynamic flow between two human beings. Now, they'll know very quickly. So whether or not you actually go on the date very quickly due to logistics or whatever, or time or however, that doesn't matter. But it's the decision to catch up with someone very quickly. I find some people are afraid. They go, but I'm too shy. It's like, well, great. Maybe that's what you got to work out first. And that's the big thing with people who say they're introverted or extroverted. Some people say they're introverted, some people say they're extroverted, and then usually I ask them questions like, are there times where you're also extroverted? They go, yeah, around my best friends. And so maybe it's contextual. Maybe introversion and extroversion are just styles. They're not your identity because you're a human, right? It's not written in your DNA. It's not written on your birth certificate. But here's the choice. You get to choose. If you like being introverted, then you can be introverted. But if you like having the dynamic flow of your connection styles, then you get to do that. You get to choose. Most people don't realize that. You get to choose. You get to choose who you are. And you get to affirm that. And so I have my magic way of doing that, which is fucking powerful. It's ridiculous. Oh! If you're not actively choosing who you are, that's where insecurities come through. So do figure out who you are. Don't go into it with insecurities. Now, then there are people out there, there are dating coaches out there, and I'm going to wrap this video up soon because this is already 23 minutes minus editing. But there are some dating coaches out there that will try and tell you, you got to meet people in this certain way. I've already kind of slammed into that. The perfect kiss, the perfect line, the perfect opener, whatever. That shit doesn't work unless you're in alignment with who you are. Because without that, you're not going to make the right connection. You're not going to meet the right people who are meant for you, and you're also going to be having a lot of resistances. And then they will say, do this to cure approach anxiety. A lot in the men's dating world, there's a thing called approach anxiety. In the women's dating world, there's a thing called love yourself first. It's the fucking polar opposite, For men, they'll say, cure your anxiety by learning to approach. For women, they'll say, cure your anxiety by learning to love yourself most. It's irrelevant. It's all irrelevant. What matters is that you know yourself. What's the point of most personal development? To become the best version of ourselves, to be the better version of us, to reach our potential. But that's assuming that there's something wrong with you now. No one stopped to look at that assumption. But I want to better myself. Great, better yourself, but you can't fix something you think is broken. You can't find something you think is lost. If you think that you got to be something that you're not, then you'll never get there. But if you start to look at who you are, that's why, really interestingly with my clients, one thing I really find is very fascinating is that when we start to do this, they start to find love where they already have it, within their friends, within their family, within their loved ones, and then they move out because they're so abundant in that other people can't help but find them magnetic. I once had a client who got hit on when she was in the fucking hospital. She'd never been really hit on in her life. And someone came up to her and tried to chat her up while she was in the hospital. In the hospital! To me, nothing less is good enough. So if you're a fan of this, if you're a fan of my stuff, make sure to subscribe, because if you subscribe, then you don't have to look me up, because I'll be there in your fucking feed. And make sure to do other stuff as well, like there's more articles and things like that on gethimhooked.com, which is my website. And make sure to share this with everyone you know, because it helps me out. So thanks so much. And get ready for season 2 of Ask Harvey. Bye.
Oh!
How the money comes in, the parade comes to town. Going down Broadway is a one-way street.
Oh!
How the money comes in, the parade comes to town. Going down Broadway is a one-way street. Whichever way I go.
Oh!
How the money comes